menjemput Yang Berhormat dari Sri Tanjong.
Terima kasih Datuk Speaker kerana memberikan saya peluang untuk mengambil bahagian dalam perbahasan Belanjawan 2021. Terlebih dahulu, saya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih dan setinggi-tinggi peragaan kepada pengundi Seri Tanjong kerana memilih saya dalam pilihan raya yang baru-baru ini. Datuk Speaker, saya ingin menyambung ucapan saya dalam bahasa Inggeris. The COVID-19 outbreak has impacted millions of people across the globe, bringing almost all the economic activity to a near standstill. Tourism industry is no doubt a visible casualty in this pandemic due to tightened border policy and travel restriction. In Sabah, tourism industry players are in the state of devastation, with many businesses are still struggling to survive. While the people are concerned of the future that may look bleak for the industry, I wonder why the state government has decided to reduce the allocation for tourism ministry. The budget 2020 tabled by the previous government has allocated a total of 227.61 million ringgit for the ministry, but this year's the allocation has been slashed to 227.97 million ringgit by the GRS government, as stated on paragraph 74 at page 24 of the budget speech, a reduction of 9.64 million ringgit. The budget table last year was prepared before the pandemic hit our country, and yet the relevant ministry received a much higher allocation compared to this year. One of the noticeable reduction is the allocation for Sabah Tourism Board, which we have seen the allocation has been reduced to 25 million ringgit compared to 25,500,000 ringgit last year, a reduction of 500,000. I wish to seek an explanation from the minister concerned on such reduction, given that the function of STB is to help to promote and market Sabah as a tourist destination during this recovery period. There is a great concern that the pandemic may continue to plunge Sabah into a no foreign tourist state because the border may remain closed. It's forecasted to remain closed at least until the second quarter of next year. The government's job is all about revitalizing and rejuvenating the economy, and the tourism has been among the highest contributors in terms of GDP for the state. In fact, it was the highest contributor in the year 2019 with 46.1% of total GDP. I hope the GRS government can give a valid and sensible explanation to our tourism industry players in the face of this economic crisis. Datuk Speaker, while waiting for the border to reopen, I suggest the state government should kickstart domestic tourism campaign to help the industry to get back on its feet in a bid to restart the state economy. There is a strong demand among our counterparts from West Malaysia and Sarawak for domestic holiday, but many are of the view that it is expensive to have holiday in Sabah. The government should start thinking how we can attract them to come visit Sabah, especially when there is a restriction on overseas holiday. Please start talking with the airline companies, Mr. Minister, and because for most reasons, hefty airfare remains one of the main barriers for our peninsular counterparts, as they do not think that they would like to pay that much for domestic travel. Datuk Speaker, I support the government's plan to continue investing in technology and innovation. I sincerely believe everyone in this august house, irrespective of our political differences, acknowledge and appreciate that technologies and innovation have continued to revolutionize our lives, and this has been accelerated by the pandemic. Since the outbreak, we have witnessed businesses have slowly shifted to hold virtual meetings through the likes of Zoom. Schools are conducting classes online, and SMEs are switching to e-commerce, etc. Even the uncle auntie at market also have learned how to use e-wallet to buy ikan and sayur. However, I'm disappointed to learn that the government has decided to reduce allocation for the creative and innovation program from 1.8 million 93,050 ringgit to 1.6 million 63,050 ringgit, a reduction of 230,000 ringgit, and the technopreneur empowerment program from 400,000 ringgit down to zero. Is the government going to use it for other purpose with the same objective? If no, the government needs to explain why these two allocations have been reduced. The government should play an active role by creating more opportunities and assisting entrepreneurs who are aspiring to venture into digital innovation and digital technologies. I believe that in order to drive Sabah growth and competitiveness, one should look at adopting these approaches in order to reap productivity gains and rejuvenate our state economy. Therefore, I would like to propose to the government to set up an innovation scheme targeting at aspiring startups who want to venture into digitalization. Criteria for application can be confined to several key areas such as digital marketing or sales, e-commerce, etc. Many people nowadays are on the internet searching for things that they want to buy, and this is driven by disruptive technologies that have subtly changed the consumer behavior. If this is materialized, I believe it will attract our fellow Sabahan to take part in this initiative. On public service, there is a need for the government to harness technologies to enhance the range and quality of government services to the public and businesses, while making sure that the government are more efficient, accountable, and transparent. This is particularly important after COVID-19 because we need to be more vigilant when it comes to adhering the physical distancing, and e-services provide an alternative avenue for the public to get public service. Previously, the Warisan-led government was committed to build Sabah to become a smart state, and one of the ways is digitizing the delivery system of the government agencies. Is the current government sincere to carry on with this initiative? If yes, why has the current government decided to slash the allocation for e-government services for 700,000 ringgit? Datuk Speaker, I would like to continue my remaining speech by raising some of the issues that are related to my constituency. The issue of bumpy road in Tawau is not something new, and it has been raised many times by my predecessor and the elected representative before him. However, after so many years of talking the same issue, yet the road condition has never been improved. Tawau is the third largest city in Sabah, and it is saddening to see many town roads are in poor and deplorable condition. Furthermore, we all know that the Indonesian capital will be relocated to East Kalimantan by the year 2024, and Tawau being geographically the closest to the Indonesian new capital, its strategic location should be leveraged as a gateway to promote commerce and tourism. Therefore, it is important that the basic infrastructures are well maintained, especially road connectivity within the vicinity of town area. Datuk Speaker, I understand that a total of 6 million ringgit will be allocated next year for road and bridge maintenance for the whole of Sabah. I would like to know how much is allocated for the district of Tawau. I would also like to know the 800,000 ringgit under Kementerian Kerja Raya that will be allocated for route upgrading in Tawau? What are the routes that will be upgraded? Datuk Speaker, water pollution is a recurring issue in Sabah that needs to be addressed by the state government. According to a study made in year 2017, about 68 rivers in Sabah are polluted. Among the key factors that have contributed to the pollution are the discharge from agricultural activities and industries. In Tawau, it has become a phenomenon that the Tawau River is used as the dumping ground to throw solid waste or any hazardous substance that will directly or indirectly cause pollution. This happens very often, with the latest being last month and caused to make headlines on many mainstream newspapers. I'm appalled to see there was no action from the government since then to resolve this problem. Some have reportedly said that it could be the squatters, whom I just received a return reply from the Ministry of Local Government today confirming that it was the squatters who caused all the problems. These squatters who live along or within the vicinity of the river. And this environmental hazard not only poses a great risk to our environment, but also health and the well-being of the people at large, as Tawau River is seen as a source of water. Therefore, I would like to propose to the state government to look into reforming our Water Resources Management Enactment 1998. This 1998 enactment does not confer power to the Department of Irrigation and Drainage to conduct investigation or arrest those who are found to be liable for such wrongdoings. Even though we have the Environmental Quality Act 1974, which provides such power for Environmental Protection Department, I think it is only impeccable for the DID to be empowered with such enforcement power to be a fully functioning regulatory body. Selangor is an example whereby a state law can be cited to take appropriate action to curb river pollution issue and punish those offenders. Their state assembly also recently passed an amendment bill that sees those who are found guilty to be imposed mandatory jail sentences and fines up to 1 million ringgit. Secondly, I urge the government to revive the Water Resources Council, which is supposed to function as an advisory body to the minister in charge of natural resources, who happens to be our chief minister. It is important for the current government to act as a gatekeeper to protecting our waters by making sure that we have an effective and functioning council.
Yang Berhormat, could you make a conclusion on what you are going to say, please? Because there are other people who are going to make
I'm almost finished.
You are?
Yeah,
Please.
almost
Thank you.
finished.
Thank you.
Yeah. Datuk Speaker, before ending my speech, I wish to say that if the government is sincere and committed to build a sustainable economy, please consider the proposal that I have put forward earlier. Also, last Friday, our Chief Minister has mentioned in his budget speech, and I quote, "I call on all honourable state legislative members of this August House to appreciate and evaluate the 2021 budget in the spirit of unity and openness. If he is serious about unity and in the spirit of upholding the best interests of the people, then he should consider giving allocation to oppositions too. This is the first budget table since the COVID-19 outbreak. Therefore, it is important that no rakyat in Sabah are left out during this difficult time. With that, I would like to wish every one of you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I will only support this budget with the condition that my proposals are accepted by the government. Thank you.
Terima kasih Yang Berhormat Sri Tanjong.